back to my channel, or if you're new, thanks for joining me. I'm Liz, and today what we're going to be doing is a vertical ombre with some chunky glitter. So I'm going to be using these two colors from Sparkle Infusion, and I do have a code for these. You can get 20% off if you're interested in that. And I'm going to be using my chisel liquids that I got from Nola Dips. I really have been liking these a lot because they're slow drying, low odor, and the shine on the top coat is really, really nice. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead, what I want to do is put fluffy clouds on the two outside nails. We're going to do the Sparkling Sorbet. Beautiful dip. The easiest way to get a chunky glitter on your finger. I mean, it really just depends on if you want to do one dip or two dips. And this one, this is two dips and this is one dip. So I think it's probably going to be better to do two with this one. So we might, for the first dip, pour over. So when you're pouring over, it's gonna get more of the smaller glitters, the base glitters of the dip. A lot of the chunky glitters usually don't stay when you pour over. And I don't know, I think I just got a bunch of clear dip on that one. Need. I guess maybe I should have just tried to dip in and get some of those a little bit easier. Right, I'm going to take, this is just a piece of baggie that I cut. It's a lot easier to get those glitters to lay flat when you have something like this. There's also, they call it glitter press, that I've heard is really good. I haven't used one, but because, I mean, I've got my trusty pieces of baggie. It seemed to work well, so that's what I use. All right, so I'm gonna do one more dip on each of those fingers, and then we will do the vertical ombre. On the second dip, since you have the potential of getting powder on your brush, I always make sure I have a lint-free cloth ready to go. Wipe my brush on that lint-free cloth before I put it back in there. This one I want a lot of those chunky glitters, so we're going to kind of wiggle that so I can get some of the chunky glitters to the top. So on the second dip with the chunky glitters, I try not to get all the way to the edges, because I don't want chunky glitters right on the edge. this dries a little bit. So they do have some over there that are hanging off the edge. What you can do is kind of move them more to the center, or you can just leave them hanging off, which I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to leave them hanging off, and you can cut them later or file them off later. Alright, so I'm going to let that dry, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the vertical ombre. Alright, so you need both of these ready to go, ready to pour. I'm doing the pour over with this because I feel like pour over is going to help or be a little bit easier to do this method. But because I'm pouring over, I'm not going to get a whole lot of chunky pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place some of those chunky pieces after I get done. Alright, so I'm going to start with, we're going to do 2 of these. So I'm going to start this time. It's all about how you hold your finger. Make sure I just kind of hold it more to the side. So I'm just getting the side of my finger. I'm going to tilt it back this way and tap it off. So you see half of it is still left. It has some free. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lay it in, try and lay it into some of those smaller glitters. Got a piece of fudge or something hanging off. Okay, that looks really good so far. That's just the first dip. We're going to clean this up. Take these off on the sides that I don't need. I really just wanted the smaller glitters for this. So now on the second time, I'm gonna start with this glitter, and I want to make sure that I shake some of those chunky glitters to the top, but we are still gonna pour over. But the second time you want to make sure that you start with the chunky glitter or the glitters, that way that everywhere there's a glitter, this solid color is not going to stick there. Great. So turn my finger. This is the hard way to turn my finger too. Trying to get some chunky glitters on there. Alright, any glitters that you don't like the way that it looks, you can always kind of move it around or take it off. Now is the time to do that. Right, and then I'm gonna try and quickly go over to this and dump that on there. And once I dust that off, you'll be able to see all those glitters. But for now, I do need to take this, get some of those down. Some of that white is probably going to stick on that side, but I think it's going to look good, just like that. So we're going to go ahead and do this other finger, and I think I want like one of those little chunky green glitters right here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down on there. I got some of these that like just fell off over here. Oh, where'd it go? Shove it on there. Get it down. Oh shoot, it's stuck to my finger. This is why you don't use your finger, Liz. Yeah, that's why you use a baggie and not your finger to get it to lay down flat. So I don't know, for some reason, a lot of times it doesn't stick to the baggie, but it will stick to your finger. Alright, so that looks good. I do have like more concentration of those glitters over there, but I think that's fine. I think it'll look fine. Alright, So we're gonna do vertical ombre here, and then this painting will be done. I mean, I didn't get any chunky glitters at all. So I'll just put some, once that dries, then we'll put a couple of chunky glitters on there. Probably just need a couple. I mean, I think this one just got a couple on there. It looks fine. I just realized this whole side did not get any glitters on it. Dry, so I'm going to carefully kind of dust it off here and figure out where I want these chunky glitters. I think I'm going to put a chunky mint one here and then like an iridescent one up here. So we just pull those out. This one's going to go right here, and the iridescent one I think I want right here. Once you get them on, you can kind of like move them around a little bit. Better way to do this is going to be with a toothpick. Just put a little bit of that base on there. Stick it on. Stick it on. I feel like I need that one to be the other way around. It's kind of curving the other way. So it'll be better this way. There you go. Definitely fits flatter to my nail that way. Alright, so I think that is going to be it for that. So now we need to clean up and encapsulate. Alright, so to encapsulate, what you want is a good clear. I mean, you can do it two ways. You can do it with builder gel, or you can do it with just clear dip or acrylic. This is Super Nail Clear that I got off of Amazon, and I really like it because it's super easy to use and it's super clear. There, and I just put it in a little cupcake liner. That way if it does get contaminated or get something in it, then I can just dump that little bit out and get some more, because it comes in a little 2-ounce container jar, so I don't want to dip in there and then get the entire 2 ounces contaminated with glitters or dip powder or whatever. So for the chunky glitters, I usually like to do 2 dips in this clear because it is very thin. It's a very thin powder. Make sure you clean it up just like you normally would with any other powder. Put that all over my skin. These 2, that's probably all I need, but for these I'm going to need at least 1 more dip of the clear. Make sure that it's nice and dry before I dust it off, because I like to dust it off with the nail brush, like a stiff nail brush. Alright, so now this is nice and dry, so I can kind of cut those that are hanging off a little bit. Take my nails. Cuticle nippers, which I do never use for my cuticles. I just use them for stuff like this. Perfect.
their bikes make good. I'm gonna need mask. My wallet. Is it in my?
So with these liquids, you just want to activate and then almost immediately after you get done activating, go to the top coat. Very hard to contaminate these liquids, but I am probably going slower than I need to. Trying to make sure that it's kind of dry. Okay, hey, instead of throwing a fit, let's go ask Daddy for help. Okay? They wonder why I spend so much time doing my nails. Alright, so the top coat takes a little bit longer to dry, so I'm going to give these 5 minutes. I will set my alarm for 5 minutes to make sure that I don't touch them until that 5 minutes goes off, because I have done that before and they were not completely dry. So I'm so impatient that 5-minute alarm just helps to keep me patient and know that it hasn't been 5 minutes yet. Please don't touch it. But that is pretty much it. I will post pictures of the finished mani for you so you can get a good look at how it turned out. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.